But this is what they said. Somebody had to play the hero.
The police said this?
That's how they told us the story.
The police said.
That's what the police told my mother. That's what they told my mother. Somebody had to play the hero by shooting him 9 times. And now we're ascertaining that 4 of those shots were literally in the back. So he could have been running away at that point.
You get a story about your brother hanging out at a rural cabin with a bunch of white people, and your brother ends up murdered, and the police tell you, you know what, he was acting nuts, and somebody had to shoot him. What the actual fuck? I'm sorry.
I know.
I am so sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Let's go to Pennsylvania, folks, where there's a strange story. A Jamaican family desperately seeks answers after their relative was shot several times during a hunting trip with co-workers. Peter Bernardo Spencer was reportedly shot at least 9 times in December. Spencer was dropped by his fiancée for a hunting trip with a colleague who reached out to him on Snapchat. A few hours later, the 29-year-old was dead. A 25-year-old man was taken into custody. 3 other individuals and multiple guns were found at the scene, but no charges have been filed. William Anderson is chair of the Allegheny Democratic Black Caucus. He joins us right now. William, I'm trying to understand. He goes hunting, he ends up dead, and nothing?
Nothing. And thank you, Roland, for having me on to shed light on this situation. You know, it's very tragic. And, you know, as you said in your former comments, that, you know, this is just what happens to Blacks in America. So on December 11th, Peter, he wasn't going hunting. He was going to the woods to hang out with some friends at, usually he assumed he was going to Nathan Meyer's mother's house. So his fiance usually dropped him off at Nathan Meyer's mother's house on several occasions, usually with friends. But on this occasion, she drops him off at it was either a cabin or a mobile home in the woods of Venango County. And this was very strange to her because, you know, it was such a desolate area that she couldn't even ping Peter's location once she dropped him off.
So, okay, so is there an investigation? And who's leading the investigation?
So allegedly, the Venango County District Attorney, his name is D. Sean White. He's in charge of the investigation and has been leading the investigation since December 12th, when Peter Spencer was murdered. And also, the PA State Troopers Heritage Affairs Department, which investigates hate crimes, is also involved in the investigation. But we haven't gotten any information on what they're doing, and it's been since December 12th, and there has been no arrest, no one has been charged or anything.
Are state officials involved in this? I mean, are folks being interviewed? I mean, brother just goes out and ends up shot 9 times and dead. Has there been a ruling from the medical examiner? Have they ruled his death a homicide? Obviously.
Yes, sir. The medical examiner of Venango County ruled Peter Spencer's death a homicide almost, I think, immediately. So we, you know, as Venango County is a small county, you know, it's a Republican-controlled rural county in Pennsylvania, where all of the people, a lot of the insurrectionists from January 6th, this is their breeding ground. You know, Western Pennsylvania is the breeding ground for all of these people. So we haven't gotten any cooperation, although it has been not only, you know, declared a homicide, but they had suspects in custody that admitted to shooting him, and they were released.
Whoa. The suspects admitted to shooting him?
Yes. They said there was some type of altercation, and they shot Peter in self-defense 9 times, which in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, you know, you cannot declare self-defense, 1, if you can flee the danger, and 2, you cannot declare self-defense when you shoot someone 9 times. This young man was shot twice above his butt, 5 times in his back, once in his neck. that went through his neck and broke his jaw and once in his chest close range. And no charges have been filed against anyone since December 12th. This is outrageous.
Were all 9 shots from the same gun?
That we haven't gotten any information to be able to come to that conclusion because they aren't cooperating. They aren't giving the investigators, the attorneys, any information. They aren't giving the family any information, and they have yet to respond to our requests as the Democratic Black Caucus and the Black Political Empowerment Project to for information. And the only help that we've gotten was from Chandy Chapman, our local reporter here, an African-American female on our WTAE local station, was the only one to even investigate this and to help shine light on this. So we just thank you for giving us national attention so we can get justice for Peter.
Has the family had an independent autopsy done?
Yes, sir. And we not only have we had an independent autopsy done, but the autopsy was done by Dr. Cyril Wecht. And Dr. Cyril Wecht is one of the most famous coroners in the entire world. So he completed his autopsy on January 3rd. And Dr. Wecht, in an interview on our WTAE with Chandy Chapman, told her that he'd never seen an incident like this in his entire career, when someone has been shot 9 times and shot in the back and no charges have been filed.
This is absolutely crazy. Certainly keep us abreast, William, of what happens. Stay in contact with us. We certainly want to follow this story, but you don't get shot 9 times. And again, like, what was his fingerprints on any of the weapons? How many guns were recovered? First of all, how many people were on the scene? That's just absolutely crazy.
Yes, sir. We know that there were at least 4 white men that were there on the scene.
4 white men on the scene with guns. There's an altercation,
yes,
and only one person ends up dead, and nobody else shot.
Exactly.
And they're walking around free.
Yes, sir. They were. I don't believe they were in custody longer than an hour. This young man is dead. His family has gone through the holidays and have to restart their life. And I just want to reiterate that this young man was not an American citizen. He had only been in this country since 2013, seeking the American dream.
Has the Jamaican embassy demanded, because, obviously he's a Jamaican national, have they demanded the federal authorities get involved?
Yes. So we had a Zoom meeting with 20 members of the Jamaican government yesterday from all over the country. And they are outraged in this. And the Prime Minister will be making a public statement demanding that America be held accountable for this, because America owes Jamaica a life, right? This young man was 29 years old. His future was bright. He came to this country, seeking the, Purple Mountain's majesty, amber waves of grain, all these things that our anthem, promises the world. And he came here in his life. He's been here for 8 years. And his life is over.
Who has the family hired to be their attorney?
They've hired. I don't know the attorney's name offhand, but I can get that to you. And they're going to get a team. They're going to have a team of attorneys to represent him, because no one attorney is going to be able to handle this.
Got it.
Because, like I said, this is pre-Jim Crow.
Got it. William Anderson, I certainly appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome out there to Black Lives Matter, Mississippi. Today we'll be talking about yet another Black young man taking from us. We can say that it's becoming an epidemic, but it's always been an epidemic. His name is Peter Spencer. He was taken out of this world by 4 white men and 1 white woman. So I'd like you to say hello to Peter Spencer's brother, Tehila.
Hello, guys. I'm glad to be on here. How are you guys doing?
I wish you didn't have to be on here, sir.
Yeah, I know.
I really don't.
My condolences, like 1,000%. This is a horrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible. The reason why we're here tonight is to humanize your brother. So I want you to tell us who your brother was.
It's hard to talk about like another person, because he did so many things in this world. Like if I can list all of his accomplishments, I would say that his biggest accomplishment is doing all he did without like a proper college education or any kind of, other than high school. Everything else that he's accomplished was he did it on his own. You know what I mean? He was multi-talented, self-taught individual that basically, you know, he was like a handyman. He would take apart the radio. He took apart this radio and he put it back because it wasn't working. He put it back together and all of a sudden it's working. That's the type of person I look at. I'm like, yo, he's a fixer. There's a problem, he can fix it for you. So he literally had this crazy work ethic that I think was unmatched. And as I've said before, he was more American than most patriotic people that call themselves patriotic Americans that I believe in. All he came here to do was get his piece of the American dream, you know what I'm saying, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that was taken from him way too soon. You know what I mean? He came here to work hard for it to be taken from him so soon.
Angry Soccer Mom, do you have anything to ask him?
The situation that you're in right now has got to be shocking. And I imagine
I never thought it would happen.
I mean, nobody in their right mind thinks, oh, this is in my future.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my God, I am just so incredibly sorry. The questions I have for you, I want to let you know that if I do ask you a question and
mm-hmm.
I've crossed the line in any way,
mm-hmm.
or you're uncomfortable.
No, yeah.
Just let me know, because I mean, you don't have to use your emotional energy on. I mean, this is terrible.
Yeah.
This is as bad as it gets for families. I mean, it doesn't. I'm hard pressed to
really. I know it doesn't feel like it doesn't.
I know it's probably like it's like surreal.
Yeah, it definitely. It's still unbelievable for most of my family.
I have so many questions. But first of all, how's your family doing?
Yeah, so we talked to Dr. Karen Dunkley recently. She's the one of the consulate people from the Jamaican government. She had just sent us Miss Lorraine. She's a top therapist from Jamaica or around the state. She's well known, and I was trying to tell her, my mom, I don't think she's handling it very well. Not to get too personal, but I can tell when people start making sarcastic remarks. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, maybe not like the person didn't even bring up Peter per se, or let's say they're just talking about Peter in a loving way, and you're like, so that's why my son had to die, or that's why my son had to get shot 9 times. You can tell. You can definitely tell. And then she'll laugh too. Mm-hmm. There's nothing, you know what I mean? Something is wrong there when I've never seen my mom, and it's hurting my heart, because I'm you know, she's feeling all the emotions in one. She's she's so angry, and
she has a right. See, I'm not interrupting you.
So hard to see.
That's righteous anger. She has. This is the thing with Black people. We're supposed to be superhuman. We're not supposed to be angry. We're not supposed to go through the fullness of our emotions, and that's bullshit.
Everybody grieves differently, and this is the unthinkable. This is the unthinkable, and so of course nobody knows how they're going to respond. Nobody could tell you how they'd respond. As a mom, she lost her baby boy, because as a mom, it's always your baby boy. I don't care how old your child is. And I can't think of anything more painful. I can't imagine what you and your family are going through. And then to see the scary response, she's just going to somehow find her way. And as long as you're there to support her, and it's hard though, because it's probably like so shocking for you to see her this way.
It's very hard. It's very heartbreaking.
Do you live with your family, or?
I moved, and I moved back when I was gonna go to nursing school. But now I live on the north side. I live like 15 minutes away. So
okay.
Yeah,
you're quite close.
Yeah, so I definitely go and see her as pretty often now. It's more often than I usually see her. So she definitely needs that support system around her. Pretty rough. But there was a duplex apartment, so and he actually took the apartment right beside her, so he was literally living beside her.
He had a fiance, is that right? Or
yeah, So she was 4 months pregnant.
Wow.
That happened.
I didn't know that.
Do you have contact with her as well?
Well, I said, she was living in the apartment right there. Right now, I think she moved back to the other apartment, but I was surprised. I didn't know anyone could love my brother more than my mom. And the way when I heard her crying, that kind of broke me even more, because I was like, here's someone that like really, really loved my brother. Like she was crying so hard that even I felt that one in myself. I got by myself. I was alone and I just broke down, like, because I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take like just hiding my emotion. So for me, it's mostly when I'm by myself it really hits. It really hurts.
I guess my biggest question, if you don't mind me asking, is, my God, they haven't arrested anybody.
Yeah,
Can you tell me what's going on?
Once again,
excuse me. Can you tell me? So what I want you to do is go from 0 to where we're at right now. So what happened? What are they telling you happened?
Let's start. He comes to America. He's finding jobs. I kind of like give him advice. I'm like, hey, this is what you should do. You know what I'm saying? So anytime I find a good job, I'll tell him about it. I'll be like, all right, so I went to this job. I don't know, something about the atmosphere wasn't off. I went to the interview. I didn't take the job, but I told him about the job. I said, here's this job. It's door to door. It's sales. I don't really know about it all like that yet, but you could try it out. He goes to the job. He's making $1,000 a week. So he tells me, I'm like, hey, come check out the job, man. It's pretty good if you really work hard at it. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come through. I go to the job, and that's basically where we met Nathan, Iron City Executive. The problem with this place was the atmosphere. The business atmosphere was a little over competitive. So they had a thing called Challenge Fridays. Every Friday, if, like you say, you're a salesperson, I'm a salesperson, I go head to head with you. If I lose my challenge, I sell less, I don't hit my goals or my quota for the day. The challenge is you get egged on the head, you get smacked in the face with a fish, you get flour.
That's hazing.
It's hazing.
Are you joking?
It's hazing. That's against the law.
The first time I actually lost my challenge Friday, I never been got. I don't accept hazing. I don't, even in college when I was rushing my fraternity, like the only thing they could do to me was a couple push-ups. I wasn't taking no bull crap. But yeah, so that was it. That was the company culture, and you already know that type of culture can breed severely competitive people in different types of ways. That is how we met Nathan Meyer. He was an old coworker. I didn't work at Iron City Executive for too long. I found another job. I hated door to door. Like I said, the night where I lost the challenge, it was getting cold in Pittsburgh. It was getting in the December time. I had quit about halfway through. I was like, my toes are cold. I'm in like church shoes. I'm like just work classy shoes. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no winter boots on. My toes are freezing. I literally sit down on a slab of concrete. They were supposed to pick me up at 7:30. They didn't get there till like 8:30. I was done. I was already out of it. And then knowing that they were going to probably flour or egg or whatever they were going to, it didn't really, you know what I'm saying? So I was out of there. I found a different job. He talks every day. That's what I'm saying. So he kept those old coworkers from Iron City Executives. Nathan Meyer, he kept them as friends. You know what I mean? Yeah. They were, I'm pretty sure.
So he didn't work there at the time.
Yeah, we did bowling. We did other things together, but he never like hang out with them after work and all of that. You know what I mean? Couple years later down the line, my mom starts the cooking business, and everything like that. Nathan actually comes to the house once, twice, maybe 3 times. I think he ever came to the house, and he comes around, he buys food, and he does his thing. When he goes up there to visit Nathan, now he came to my house. Now he goes up there to visit Nathan. They always take him to his mom's house.
So Nathan,
that's what it's.
Nathan is one of the white men that your brother knew.
That was the person that invited him. That was the old coworker.
He was there.
That invited him to go camping.
Did he know the other ones?
No, Nathan invited all the other friends. No clue who they were.
From the company?
No, these guys are just friends of Nathan that probably live. I would say some of them probably live up in that area.
what is his name? Nathan what?
Nathan Meyer, Meier. He already privated his Instagram and all that.
So the men and woman that went on the trip, one of them, your brother, was a colleague of your brother. He didn't currently work there, an old colleague,
old co-worker, right? Yep, old co-worker.
That he was friendly with, but not best friends with. So he invites him on a hunting trip.
Yeah.
Did your brother hunt?
Not necessarily. Let's put it like this: there was an Instagram. My girlfriend found an Instagram message. It was like a skiing picture, and he's like, oh, why didn't you take me? He laid it out specific terms. He said, oh man, I would take you, but hunting license, this, that. He laid out specific things that require, you know what I'm saying? So he knows it's not just something that everybody can go do specifically. You know what I mean?
This was the friend telling your brother.
Yep. You gotta have
because you don't have
you gotta have. So it's not just something that everybody can go do. You know
so
what I'm saying? They all have hunting licenses.
Right.
Most likely, he doesn't have a hunting license.
You've never gone. Okay.
The day before it happened, he just passed his permit, his CDL permit. So he was basically in a celebratory mood, pretty happy. He was pretty. If he didn't go hang out with them, he would have hung out with his Jamaican friends. From what my cousin in Atlanta told me, my friend Junior, another friend from Jamaica, he asked Junior, hey, would you want to go with me? Junior didn't want to go with a whole bunch of people from in a rural area that he doesn't know. He asked some of his other friends. He's like, yo, y'all want to go with me? So once again, if he didn't go hang out with them, he would have most likely just stayed and went out and partied with his Jamaican buddies. But what happened was I'm not gonna go off of what if theories, but obviously he was they posted that on Instagram. They then subsequently invited him through Snapchat, which we already know that Snapchat disappears in 24 hours. I'm not saying that it would have been the best time to basically take care of it's to be the best time to take advantage of a vulnerable person in their most vulnerable situation. And then he's like, oh yeah, you remember when you said you wanted to go hunting with us? Well, come on up. That's basically how it happened. Yeah. They just reminded him, hey, you remember that Instagram message?
So they invited him. So it was an instant, like it sounded legit. Have you or your family spoken to
No, you're talking about the witnesses, you're talking about the police.
I mean, he was there. He was friends with your brother.
He hasn't said.
Have you asked him what the hell happened?
No.
Okay, so now I was just reading the one of the quotes from his fiance. And the fiance said she didn't feel comfortable with him going.
Like I said, when my cousin said he asked his Jamaican friends, it sounds like he just didn't want to go there by himself in general. It sounds like he shouldn't have forced it. He should have just went. If he had some kind of feeling, he should have just went with his gut feeling and not going in general. You know what I mean? Like if he was feeling like, he feel like somebody should have been there with him or somebody should have went with him, then he shouldn't have went. It was a thing where he wasn't gonna stay the night.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a gray area when it came to that because we don't know what the Snapchat said. We don't know if he went over there for hunting or just went over there to, like I said, drink some beer and celebrate in a night of camping, around the bonfire type of deal.
You don't know if they were going out hunting.
Exactly. We don't know. Like I said, if he wasn't gonna stay the night because he didn't plan to stay the night. I don't think
he called her later, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you're gonna go hunting like in the dead of night. You're gonna wait till like in the morning time to go. So I'm saying, like I said, that's where it gets lost in translation because we don't know what the Snapchat said. We don't know if they said, hey, come camp with us tonight. You know what I'm saying? We'll light the bonfire. We'll get some beer or whatever. We don't know what the Snapchat
tomorrow morning we'll hunt or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know what the Snapchat said. So from the sounds of it, he didn't even go over there to actually like stay the night and do that in the morning. He just went over because she said he didn't bring anything, no extra change of clothes, nothing with him. If there was anything that was on the premises, it was all of theirs.
He would have hang out with the guys.
Exactly. So they would have provided. They would have been like, oh, here's whatever they do.
I don't know if you've ever heard of Joy DeGruy. She talks about Dr. Joy DeGruy. She talks about slave PTSD and why Black people, we don't play going into the woods. We don't play that going swimming.
Yeah.
We don't play, if you see any scary movie, I'm not going down into that basement.
Yeah.
I'm not going up those stairs. If I call at you and you don't answer me the first time, but I'm being funny about it. But what I'm saying is, what she said was, we know what long trips meant to us.
Yeah, I was trying to remember the name of the lady that was went with like the group of other
There was a couple of them. Darian Towns, Tamelia Hosford.
oh,
It's a
it
bunch.
happened.
Oh, there's a bunch of them. It's not. Trust me, because she talking about she went to the sleepover, and she's the only one that ended up dead. Then the other lady, she went to the pool party. Somehow she's the only one that ended up drowning at the pool party.
Yeah.
And both of them were the only black people at the party. In the case with Darian Towns, people that were at the party as they were working on her stole her car and took her to Mississippi.
So these are cases where a black individual, or African American individual, or a person of color goes with a white group or a couple to do something, and then they end up dead.
And what I'm trying
and nobody knows what happened.
Yeah, and what I'm trying to get at specifically is, and I want everybody to understand this, there is a difference between racist and people. And if I get even more specific, let me go even deeper. There's a difference between racist white people and white people, but I don't use the white people or the black people in general. I just say racist and people, because I don't like to separate and be like, oh, no, we're all just people. We're all just human beings in general. But there's a difference between people that feel like they're better than others and people that just be like, yo, you're my equal. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. You're like anyone else. And
exactly.
So now your brother goes out. What happened next?
I went to the house about 1:30 in the morning. I look through the window. I see his fiance sleeping on the couch. They were watching TV with her sister. They were like binge watching a show or something. I knock. I'm like, where's my brother? Where's Peter at? I came. My mom. I always pop up randomly and visit my mom. She's sleeping at this point. So where's my brother at? I know he stays up late. And he's like, oh no, he went camping. I'm like, huh? Camping with who? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, what's his phone? What's his phone? I'm like, I'm gonna call him basically. He's like, what's his phone? He's like, oh, his phone went straight to voicemail. I was like, huh?
Were they out of range? Is that why? Because they're in the rural areas?
No, not even. His phone was off. It was off. It was turned off. It was turned off. It was going straight to voicemail, meaning no ring whatsoever. Not even like a buzz. No. 9:30 p.m. he got there.
So this is a couple hours later.
9:30 p.m. Right? 2:30, about 2:30 in the morning. Yeah. About 2:30 in the morning. Police, it was once again, and this is another thing that they're not making very, we don't know if it's the neighbors that called the police, because it said it on some of the reports. It said a neighbor called the police. It was the neighbor that called the police.
The neighbors in the forest?
And I'm saying, because I'm saying it's probably an acre worth of land they were sitting.
Right. On. How do you don't have neighbors?
Even if they hear it, they said that heard gunshots. So who knows? If it was the neighbors that called the police, then that means to me, self-defense don't make any sense, because if the neighbors called, then if I shot somebody in self-defense, I would have been like, yo, I had to shoot this guy. That's what I'm saying.
Of course.
If it's the neighbors that called the police, you can't tell me self-defense, because I would have called them myself. Be like, yo, send an ambulance. They didn't call no ambulance. They didn't call nothing. They didn't call none of that. His body was laying on the ground. It was still in the same position when his fiance got there 9 a.m. in the morning. No yellow tape, no nothing. She had to see his body on the ground with 9 bullets in his body.
Oh my God.
So yeah, and then when once again, this is why I say it gets weird, because you're talking about anytime something like this happens in the inner city, in Wilkinsburg, in like, I'm saying the ghetto part of Pittsburgh, I'm saying the suspect's name and photos instantly post up. Instantly. They don't even, as soon as they figure it was that guy.
So the police weren't there doing forensics, and they weren't there finding out what was going on and questioning
from
people.
what I found out, this town is 1,200 people, and they own. I'm gonna disparage and be like, I don't know. I was like, this is just what I've heard. They only have one police car for 3 officers. It don't make any sense. I don't know.
Well, then they don't have a lot of murders, probably. So
that's what. That's the thing. I actually digged into Venango County and did some research. They don't have a lot of murders. Not just not to talk about. I'm sorry. There's been a lot of murder. There's been a lot of.
That's
people,
what I was getting ready to say. It's been murder.
Venango County that's been going missing, and then people getting off in 4 years for killing Black people in Venango County.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's the ones they don't report.
Oh, so this is a thing. This is a thing.
There's people hit up my dad and said they've been watching the corruption in Venango County. They're saying that the police let the drug people run the place. Like if it's a killing that involves drugs and stuff like that, you don't hear about, like it gets swept under the rug. If you know what I'm saying, that's why you won't hear you don't think there's a lot of murders, but
so an incredibly corrupt
you're talking about
rural area.
Yeah, you're talking about opioid pandemic in America when people are pushing pills and everything like that. It was at Johnstown. That's where the opioid epidemic was really hitting. And it's in places like these, Western Pennsylvania.
Now, remember when crack was out?
Yeah. It
remember
was.
When crack was out, they were just locking people up.
Yeah. This, you actually get help for it.
Yes.
It's a level of understanding I understand. Like I'm like that's good. That's a good.
But why didn't you do that before?
Exactly.
Because I agree. It was Black people.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Of course, that's why.
Wow,
we all know that.
People. My question is, they went hunting in a rural area.
Yeah.
How did his body get back on somebody's lawn?
So that's the thing. He wasn't going hunting yet. They was at
before they left.
So this time it wasn't the mother's house. It was more in
the woods. It was even more cut off. It was more. It was actually out in the woods. Yeah, he was already vulnerable. This is what I say. I say, why would my brother want to do anything to come off as aggressive when he's in a place where he doesn't even have his car to go anywhere? You know what I'm saying? Why would I want to get mad at you to the point where you want to kill me if I don't have anywhere to run whatsoever? That would just be stupid. You know what I mean?
You don't know that they were fighting or talking like that at all.
Something happened. They give us this, like I said, the story they give us made it sound like my brother went crazy all of a sudden, and he was like an animal that needed to be put down. That's how when they told me the story, they were like,
and who's they? The police?
The police. They said, this is the story they told my mom, and this will get you probably even more upset. They said, because I think I told you, I said, he supposedly pulled a gun out because they had I'm getting bits of the story. They had their AK. They were passing around guns. They were trying to get ready for. It's the whole reason to shoot somebody. It's the best. I was like, all right, very likely story.
So they have your guns there.
He pulled a gun. He pulled his gun out of the crowd. Try to fire in the crowd. Nobody got shot. Not one of those 5 people that were supposedly in the crowd ended up getting shot. But this is what they said. Somebody had to play the hero.
The police said this?
That's how they told us the story.
The police said.
That's what the police told my mother. That's what they told my mother. Somebody had to play the hero by shooting him 9 times. 9. And now we're ascertaining that 4 of those shots were literally in the back. So he could have been running away at that point. Yeah.
You get a story about your brother hanging out at a rural cabin with a bunch of white people, and your brother ends up murdered, and the police tell you, you know what, he was acting nuts, and somebody had to shoot him. What the actual fuck? I'm sorry.
I know.
I am so sorry.
Don't be sorry. Say what you gotta say.
This is sick.
Yes.
This is sick.
That's literally the story.
And what I was gonna say was,
I'm not listening to nothing else they're saying. I'm like, Mom, don't worry about none of that bull crap they're talking about, because as soon as they put it like that, one of 2 things ran through my mind. Everybody in that group came together and be like, yo, this is the story we're gonna have to do.
That's what they did.
We're gonna try to get everybody.
They're alive. Your brother doesn't get to tell the story.
Yeah, dead men tell no tales. Exactly.
Your brother went out there. Nobody knows what happened. At this point, it's speculation.
Yeah.
But we know one thing: your brother is not alive. and 5 other people are not talking. First of all, let's be clear about certain things. You remember what I told you last night about nothing happens in a vacuum? Remember when they used to lynch us? It was a family affair.
People came out to visit.
And everybody had the same story.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anytime something happens to us, everybody has the same story. I'm telling you that. So if you're saying that they had a conversation, I'm letting you know that conversation happened. Yeah. And just like Angry Soccer Mama said,
also makes them
doesn't matter what happened. He's dead.
Say whatever he wants. Did they even separate them and really work them over?
They would have probably did interviews on them. They said they got let out in an hour. The person that down in Venango County was the head of the Republican chair committee, and then somebody's over there is related to certain senators, and it's a lot.
You're just desperately guessing, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of Trump country stuff there. But once again, it's weird. Why do you not release the suspect's name and picture? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just weird. I still don't understand it.
Same reason. Okay, remember what I told you? Nothing happens in a vacuum. When a cop shoots a black person, what happens?
Yeah, they get the story. They do all the investigation, get the story straight.
Does the cop's name get released?
No, they don't. They're not going to do all that till the end, like till it really, really hits the fan. And
but the person's name is released, right?
And they are vilified and killed twice if they're black.
The death of Spencer, a 29-year-old Jamaican immigrant and Pittsburgh resident, remains under investigation by Pennsylvania State Police, who asks anyone who has information to call the Franklin Station 814-676-6596. State Police says Spencer was found dead in the front yard of a home on Carls Road in Rockland Township shortly before 2:30 a.m. on December the 12th. Where were they?
They stayed there. They waited.
They stayed with your brothers.
They didn't call an ambulance. They didn't try to help him, but they waited right there. Yeah.
So the police came because the neighbor called.
Because they were all in custody. Yeah, they were all in custody. Like they took them in, and then they questioned them, did their interviews, and then they let them go
for an hour.
So a 25-year-old, I'm guessing this is Nathan.
Yeah.
A 25-year-old was detained and questioned.
Yeah.
As well as 3 other people.
He got the Dylan Roof treatment because when his fiance went down there, she said she saw him go in the car with his girlfriend with and his belongings, no handcuffs on or anything like that.
They weren't arrested formally then.
Because it's involuntary. Even if a black person wanted to get bringing themselves involuntary, they still would get slapped handcuffs on because they don't trust them. They're definitely a threat. So
they were given the benefit of the doubt that there's
the big when you just shot somebody 9 times, you get
and no one else was shot. No one else. Nobody. Bullet holes in the house. Bullet holes. No one. Nothing.
We're waiting for ballistic reports because we don't know if 9 shots came from one gun. That would definitely be another twist to the story.
And you're still waiting.
Yeah.
The shots in his body. Can you tell us about that if it's not too hard?
This is the hardest part thinking about it is if he got the shot that put him out of his misery first, or if that was the last one. And from what it looks like, it would most likely have been the last one. So he would have. This is the scenario, and this is because he gets 6 to the torso. They specifically say torso because once you say torso, you automatically think chest. You don't think the back. But I think he was facing his attacker.
Is this a guess or what you've been told or what you're kind of
surmising? We can't know what happened because basically you want 2 shots above the butt, 2 shots right above the buttocks. One in the head. And you'd have, so that's 3. So you'd have 6 more shots to the chest. So basically, out of those 6 shots, the one went from autopsy that we did, or the dude that you just read on the statement, the coroner that did our independent autopsy. He's saying 2 of those ones actually look like the entry wounds were in the back. So on the additional 2 from above the buttocks, the two that were from the chest looked like the entry wound were in the back. So that would have been 4 near the back, and then 1 head. So that leaves 4 more shots to go in the chest area. That's still a lot of shots. It's a lot of shots. So, and one up close, because you could see the burn mark from the barrel of the gun right near his shoulder area on his chest. So when they found him, they said he was kind of flipped over. So he was on his. He probably, like I said, was probably crawling away, running away for his dear life.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
So I'm so sorry.
Somebody knows something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
100%.
Was there blood in the house? Was there forensics called? Did they do it? I mean, my God.
They would have had to, because they,
there
like I
would
said,
have been tremendous amounts.
This is what they say. They passed it over to the state police because they knew they did not have to handle something like this. They did not.
Okay.
They were not prepared. They were not ready to handle something like this.
So they did pass it over to the state police.
But that also allows you to not incriminate yourself. You know, if you did tell them, like, hey, I'd probably get my story straight if I were y'all. You know what I mean? Passing it off to state police takes it out of your hand. You don't got to worry about getting.
Well, there's just too many unknowns, and this is ridiculous.
It's way too many unknowns.
Too many unknowns. This is a human being's life.
It needs the level of attention. Like you said, it needs the level of attention that Trayvon Martin's case got. That
I can't believe it's not in the news everywhere on every major.
I don't.
They thought it just because he's a Jamaican immigrant. They get he's a black man like everybody else. He's still a human being like everybody else. He's still a person like everybody else. So not just in Pittsburgh, I needed to be on the news stations in Mississippi. I needed to be on news station in Atlanta. I need to be on the news stations nationally, not just a local Pittsburgh and then viral on the internet type of thing.
This should be.
I agree.
MSNBC, CNN, everything. I don't even understand what's going on. Like, I thought, am I missing something here?
Yeah,
I mean,
I think the boots on the ground might be what we're missing, because
I'm telling you, I told you that yesterday.
They're not going to take us serious unless we do something.
Have you gotten a campaign going to people to call into the state police and say what the actual?
We call into the state. We call in the Venango County District Attorney. We trying to get it the case handed over from the Venango District Attorney to the State Attorney General office, instead of having, because they said they're not if you let them handle it, you're playing into their hands. You're giving them the keys to do whatever they want, basically, and judge this and
well, they've already shown that they're total indifference. It sounds like.
Yeah, they haven't been trying to give
us. Sorry, he's dead. I mean, my God.
Basically.
Do you have an attorney? Does your family?
Yeah, we're actually getting a team of attorneys now. Actually getting another attorney, a private investigator. We're going to the lens. We're going to the lens that. Okay. I say the only thing we had, like I said, that because I don't know if they want to take it that far, but I don't know.
This is your brother.
Yeah.
You better take it that far.
Yeah.
This is a person's life, for the love of God. This is sick.
Yeah, so we definitely gonna get active, because it's definitely we're not waiting for them to give us the solace that we deserve, like we've been waiting for.
You just want the truth of what the hell happened.
Yeah.
It's my God. If this were, I'm sorry, but if you, and please do not be hurt by this. I do not mean it. If this was switched around, if this was
the whole town of black people would be gone.
Yeah, that'd be a bloodbath.
Gone. Gone.
They'd be upset. A lot of people would be upset. Definitely.
This is unconscionable.
He was a human being. He was a brother. He was a son. He was a nephew. He was a husband. He was soon to be a dad.
Nothing's gonna bring my brother back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But for the sake of having a civilized society, I would hope that these monsters are removed from society. You know what I mean? Taken away
from people, or from being around people. You know what I'm saying? So this doesn't happen to someone like that again. I want them to find out if the 9 shots came from one gun, if it came from more than one gun. I want to figure out if anyone else, if they're trying to cover up for, you know what I'm saying, or
what
trying
the circumstances of his murder was.
Yeah, I honestly want every single person that was there.
They know.
Want them to get charged with something. That's really how I feel.
Well, they know something.
If all of them went with that same story, and that story wasn't the way it actually went, then they're all accomplices. They all basically told the same lie, so they all need to go down for it.
As an outsider to looking in, when I read the story originally, I said, how can one person in a group be shot 9 times in self-defense? I mean, for the love of God, that's an execution.
Yeah, it's definitely overkill
from both sides. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
What I miss saying was, if he had gotten those 8 shots, like I said, the 2 above the buttocks, the other 2 in the back, another 4 in the chest, and then the one and then I'm saying he might have suffered through all 8 of those bullets before they actually had the one that ended his misery. You know what I mean? So it could have been even torture.
Because those are debilitating things. Those are not like a shoulder.
It was inhumane. Yeah, it was a good amount of shots to put down a bear, to put down something way bigger. He was only 120 pounds. He weighed less than me. He wet. He was 120 pounds wet. He doesn't even have, like, he's not that big of a dude. You know what I mean?
It doesn't make sense. He doesn't
want to fight with me since I was 16.
Right.
He's not gonna try to beat four or 5 people. No. We're not giving them the benefit.
It doesn't make sense.
It definitely does.
And you need answers, and we all need answers. And I am just so incredibly sorry this happened to you and your family.
We're not taking their bull crap excuse. We're not listening to that. You don't shoot someone 9 times in self-defense. And people try to tell me, oh, hang. If it wasn't hanging, he wasn't. Don't tell. Don't get.
They're mincing words with you, for the love of God. Your precious brothers.
You know there's going to be a whole bunch of online trolls, especially if we drop those pictures next week. There's going to be even more. It's going to be a lot of online trolls that are going to have something to say, something dumb to say. We're going to have a majority of people that are going to be rallying together and trying to find justice for my brother. So yeah.
So is there a rally planned?
Right. Once we get all the stuff that she sent me, once I get all of those stuffs in order, I want to have as many of the groups that she sent me and all the groups that we already have in together. But
and she being
Anastasia? Yeah. She sent me a lot of you've sent me a lot of resources that I've been trying to get, so we're trying to organize right now.
Okay.
And anything is going to be a big push in Black History Month, probably the whole entire month.
So Anna, this is you trying to help get him. Are there other groups that are?
So this is the thing, right?
Yeah.
When we're talking about protesting, there's a way, just like anything, of going about it, and it's networking. That's why I wanted Leo on the line, because Leo is now dealing with another case, the same as his brother, except for the cops are involved and nobody know what happened. He just turned up dead. Nobody know what happened. So what I'm saying is the same, what Tehila was talking about yesterday is that the reason why the family wants to show the pictures is the same reason why Mamie Till showed the pictures of Emmett.
And the pictures of what they did to
what they did to my baby. This is what they did. And the fact of the matter is that in networking, I told him, I said, those people are not going to do anything until they're forced to, until they're shamed. And that's point blank and simple. If you don't have the thing with Travion, if they didn't have boots on the ground, we would have never heard about it. Ahmaud Arbery, the The thing about it, it took 2 DAs, and they passed it on like a Heisman. So if you don't have the thing about it, you know what happened. NFLAC came up in there.
Well, Ahmaud Arbery was a cover-up. It was an entire community covering up. It was like the olden days.
It was hard because they said he was in there trying to rob and steal some construction stuff.
Yeah, no, it got
It's
passed.
Always a reason. It's always. Let me tell you something. If I'm sitting in my house talking to you right now, they would have a reason for me to have gotten killed in my house.
Yeah, there's always a reason. What did they say about Breonna Taylor, her boyfriend?
Must have been a bad guy because that's why she was killed.
He was a drug dealer.
Must have been a drug dealer.
It wasn't even
ex-boyfriend.
If somebody come trying to barge into your house and you gonna want to throw shots at them too. So I definitely understood what he was saying. Nobody identified himself. They didn't just like bang. It's the police. They just broke in. So if I'm firing shots at you just for breaking in, then what they say, they just booked he was this, he was that, and the third, try to make it seem like justify the reason why they had.
Well,
it's always a justification.
Her ex-boyfriend
they always have a reason for something.
Her ex-boyfriend actually, the police tried to give him a deal and make him tell on her.
He was already in jail.
He was already in jail, and he said, no, I won't turn on her. I don't care what deal you give me because she wasn't involved in this.
Yeah.
So I mean, personally, we don't even know anything about your brother's case. I mean, they're not telling you guys. Yeah, this isn't good. I just and
the reason why I'm showing these pictures is because these are the same. That's the same thing. Listen. You see these people right here?
Yeah.
These are the same people right here. Yeah, that's them right there on the left. You see this little girl right here? That's the same little girl right here on the right. And the simple fact of the matter is I keep trying to impress on my Black people. First of all, they don't see us as human. So you going out to these places, and I am not blaming your brother. That is not what I'm saying.
Not blaming the victim. No.
I'm not blaming the victim. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is too many times we've seen our Black people just disappear. Yeah. And until we start giving the same energy, you hear what I'm saying? It's going to continue. But I'm going to let you have the last word, Tehila, and then we're going to go.
Yeah. I don't think this was an accident. I don't think this was, a lapse of judgment on anybody's part. I think they know exactly what they're doing and how they're going. It's just how they're going about it. It's just really disrespectful to the memory of my brother, my family, my mother specifically, who all she just wants is some kind of we really don't right at this point we've gotten past like we understand he's dead, he's in the ground, we already put him in the ground, we buried him, we know now we had to accept and come to terms with him actually being gone. We can't deny it anymore. It happened. But it's not about the fact that he died. It's still always going to be how he died. That's always going to be the thing that, like I said, it'd probably be years from now. We still probably won't be able to like come to terms with it, like in general, because it's just so tragic. It's just so inhumane. It's just so savage the way it was done. So we this is what I want. I want everybody who's like-minded, who understands the value of a human life. You cannot put a value, you can't put a price tag on a human life, who understands that. One of the videos he puts that we need to fight the system. We need to fight the powers that be, the people that are literally putting us at odds at each other's neck for years. And it's hard to change people's heart, because once your heart is hardened and you're stuck in your ways like that, it's hard to come back from that. You know what I mean? And it's continually sent down from generation to generation. I've actually seen where their families are like this, and then I'm like, so this how your family thinks, I'm saying, like, yeah, that's how, but I'm not okay with it, or stuff like that. You know what I mean? We need to all come to a consensus that, look, if you're against something, then you're against it. There's no middle line anymore.
No,
there's no I'm playing the fence. There's no I'm gonna tip between this line because this is my comfort zone and I don't want to get uncomfortable. Some of y'all need to feel uncomfortable like how we feel every single day in our shoes. Some of y'all need to walk around in our shoes and be like, yo, this is because I know some people already do. They live in trailer parks. You know what I'm saying? They get the assistance. Actually, mostly white people that are on public assistance. And
exactly.
They're in the same situation as most of us are. They just feel like, oh well, since they don't want to acknowledge that we actually have a privilege. And some people, when they use their privileges for bad, and some people they'll actually use their privileges to highlight the fact that there's so many disparaging differences in our society. So I'm just hoping that somehow, some way, this my brother's, sadly because of my brother's death, but some way somehow this can start bringing people that they know they're not racist, that know that they don't agree with what these people do, instead of just being like, oh, I'm not racist, but now speak out against it.
Not enough to be not racist. You have to be anti-racist.
I have a video on it.
Anytime you see somebody, it's not no bystander effect. No, well, I'm not racist, so I'm not gonna. But you got just, if you don't butt in, then that makes you a part of the problem in general.
Being nice to everybody doesn't cut it.
So
it will not dismantle
I'm really hoping that everyone just comes to their senses and realize that really and truly, even if you're a white person in a trailer park, it's not you that I'm mad about. I actually pity the people that feel that they have to hold on to the superiority and hold on to that one thing that they feel like they have over us, when all of us are in the same situation. All of us are mentally enslaved by the system that keeps on basically just putting obstacles in our way, and then telling us that, oh, you're not supposed to help those people because you're above them, or you're and when we actually come together, when the 99% of us we can actually root out the racism and get rid of those people that are, against progress in this nation, and we can actually come together and we actually be the 99% of people that are against that, we can start focusing on the real root issue, which is the people that have been running in the background the whole entire time. That's what I hope to get out of this situation. An actual change. As they say, hopefully a change may come. Definitely a change has to come. A change has to come.
Well, we're with you.
And we'll end on that note.
We'll help in any way possible.
Yes.
Nobody should have to go through this. Nobody. Just like Angela Davis says, I'm no longer accepting the things that I can't change. I'm going to change the things that I can't accept. And that's where we are. This is absolutely abhorrent. This is horrible.
Yes. I want to say thank you and good night to Angry Soccer Mom, Tehila.
Thank you for
get back with me later about those contacts. I got another contact for you. And for those out there, look up his brother, Peter Spencer. It was a modern day lynching. And the reason why I showed those lynching pictures is because at the end of the day, that is what happened. It was a family affair. Everybody knew each other except for him. And he's the only one that came dead. All I can say for those of you watching us, we're going to fight you till hell freezes over. And if there's any more injustice, we're going to fight you on the ice. So get your skates. Good night, y'all.
Good night.